We're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Episode 3, Rookie and the Vet podcast. We got an exciting
Happy
week.
Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. We got an exciting week. It is Super Bowl week, but that's not the most exciting NFL news. Saturday night, right? I want to say. Breaking news. Longtime Detroit Lions quarterback, best quarterback in their franchise history, Matthew Stafford, has been traded. Another number one draft pick has been traded to the Los Angeles Rams for the Rams starting quarterback, Jared Goff, 2 first-round picks, and the Rams' third-round pick. And
A
Joaquin,
quick fun fact.
Yeah.
A quick fun fact. The very first I think quarterback trade to ever happen before a season, before seasons ended.
Yeah, that was that was interesting.
but-
The season's not over. It's not even.
Usually trades like this happen like a couple weeks after the Super Bowl. Like usually around now, the only NFL news we're getting is some of the lower tier NFL head coach hires, like the Texans getting David Coley, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So definitely I think it's a big start to probably going to be the most exciting season we've ever seen. Most exciting off season, I should say.
Yeah, definitely. So with that being said, the Rams already had one of the best rosters in the National Football League, and now they added a monster QB. He's not. Let's be. I don't think.
Sam is Sam is a person who is in between the crowd of Stafford is underrated and Stafford is properly rated. So
yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. I don't think he sucks. I don't think he's this hidden gem. When people talk about Matt Stafford, they're like, he was left to die in Detroit. I mean, he had some good teams. He definitely could have won a playoff game or two. He had Megatron, who was a legend and one of the greatest receivers I've ever seen play football. And
no debate, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And I think he's really good, but I don't know. I'd like to see him do well on the Rams. Am I who?
So you're a little iffy on it overall as like the solution for the Rams, you think?
Well, how old is he? He's like 32, right? And he's expensive.
Picked in 08. Let's see.
Right.
I'm just gonna fact check.
He was a senior, I think. I think he did all 4 years at Georgia.
He is turning 33 in a few days. So
see, that's really old.
7. So yeah, I'm gonna check out his contract details. But the good thing about Stafford is that while at the time it was a bit of an overpay, it has aged well. And as you see with the market with quarterbacks, like for God's sakes, Jimmy G making $28 million, that is just ridiculous. So his cap hit is only $20 million, and next year the cap is $23 million. And here's the kicker: there is absolutely no dead money. So if he sucks, they can just cut their ties and be done with it.
So now this is
unlike most of their trades that the Rams do, because the Rams last couple of years, man, they've been really trigger happy. But with this trade, they actually do have a bit of an out. Unlike with Todd Gurley, they're going to be paying Todd Gurley, I think, like the next 3 years plus.
Yeah. And that's another thing. That's another thing. Props to the Lions. I think they got their money's worth from I think they got a good haul. They got Jared Goff, who's a starting caliber quarterback in the National Football League. He's not a Pro Bowler. He's not going to win you the Super Bowl. He might get you to a playoff game. But
starting caliber?
I think so. I think he can start. I think he's like a Ryan Tannehill, Fitzpatrick tier quarterback, where it's like if there's pieces around him, he can succeed. But all by himself, he's not. I don't know. I think he's gonna be okay for the Lions. Like he'll be all right for the Lions. He'll be all right. They have 2 firsts, and they have a third. So those are 3 good draft picks. Like third rounds are valuable. First rounds are valuable.
Great return, I think.
I found this on the internet. So when the Rams, remember in 2016 to get Goff, they traded up in the draft with the Titans that year.
Right, yeah.
The picks the Rams gave up for Jared Goff, this is what they became for the Titans. Derrick Henry, Jack Conklin, Corey Davis, the wide receiver, and Jonnu Smith, their tight end. So that's
4 very productive players.
The best pound for pound running back in the league. and then
Arguably,
three other offensive studs for a guy they just gave away for.
Yeah, Corey Davis, I think getting better and better, could be a wide receiver one. Who knows? Jack Conklin, a starting caliber right tackle, which is not very easy to come by. And then Jonnu Smith, top 15, top 10-ish tight end, which again, not easy to come by because tight end is kind of a vacuum position. So
they're good. They're above average for their positions. All of them, all four of them.
All of them are. And that's a fair statement.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very fair thing to say, that the Rams' history is a little questionable with the moves they've made. Off the top of my head, when they went all in 2018, they made the Super Bowl, but the plan was to win it. So I'd say that plan was a fail. The Brandon Cooks trade, he came there, was productive for a season, and he had concussion issues, and then they gave him this really big contract, I think after his concussion, which was odd for some reason.
Yeah.
And which is a bigger deal for a smaller guy like him, and he's had multiple of these, and that's the main reason why he's been traded in the past. So they gave him that, a lot of dead money, and then they traded him off to the Texans for I think a third, maybe the third I think that they got in the Hopkins trade. So kind of a wash with that. Todd Gurley, we know the story, really sad, arthritis in the knee, got another knee injury, stopped being a productive running back, had to cut him after giving him that contract. And let's see, then Sue left, which I don't think cost them anything.
No, he's
then they had to trade Peters for pennies on the dollar because he wasn't playing very well in their system, and then he ended up playing better on the Ravens.
He was good in Kansas City. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it was obviously kind of a system fit.
And then I thought they bought high for Jalen Ramsey though. The trade, but they the 2 firsts for a corner. I know he's the best in the league, and I know the trade market has shifted since last year. But I'll use an example. Howie Roseman got Darius Slay, who is leagues below Ramsey, but a top tier corner in the league, top 10-ish corner. Darius Slay,
probably 9 or 8, I would say.
Yeah, he gave up a 3rd and a 5th round, which were extra picks that we had this year to get Darius Slay. And I don't know. He did well this year with the Eagles, and Jalen Ramsey's done very well. But the difference is we have our firsts, and the Rams don't have 1st-round picks for 4 years. And I know you can get late round steals, but that's gonna hurt. That's going to hurt their development because they have an aging roster like Whitworth. Best O-lineman's 40. That's not going to last long.
He's a champion, man. He wants to play.
I love him to death, but he's.
Hey, but here's one thing though. Here's one thing for the Rams. They have whoever their GM is. I don't know who it is. But he deserves a pat on the back because his drafting has been excellent in the late rounds. He's gotten them. He's gotten them Tyler Higbee. He's gotten them Cooper Kupp, Cam Akers. Saffold, I think, was one of the Havenstein. Havenstein was a late round pick, and he's been a really good right tackle for them. And then he's also made these pickups for guys like Leonard Floyd, who literally gave him $3 million, and then he had a really good year. He drafted John Johnson, who's a top 5 safety probably.
Yeah.
And so, I have confidence in that. And just here's the thing: the Rams are going all in, and they know this.
They are.
And I know that they're tracked. Like I said before, so my point that was leading up was that, they sort of have a bad track record with giving guys money. Obviously the Goff contract is probably the worst contract in football behind Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I mean, over $100 million guaranteed for 4 years for a guy who's barely average.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good.
Anyway, so so this is a high risk trade for Stafford, I would say, just because of their track record with trades is very good. Yeah. But people have to understand this. The reason why they had to give up that extra first is because Goff was in the deal. And that was the only way they're going to be able to make salaries work.
That's true.
Goff. Because at this point, Goff can play, but you're not going to trade Goff and get something back. It has to be Goff and something. And then back.
I mean,
so
the Lions.
I think Stafford is worth a 1st and a 3rd. So I think people need to slow down a little bit on that.
I think, the Lions gave away their biggest asset as a team and got rewarded. And that doesn't happen a lot. Sometimes teams give up the best player and don't get rewarded. The Lions got rewarded. I think one thing, this is the last point I want to make on the Stafford trade. I think the Rams are very good at player development, and McVay schemed up the offense that it was like low error for Jared Goff. Like there's a lot of misdirection, play action, rollouts. So you cut off half the field, eliminate error.
Bootlegs, ridiculous amount of bootlegs, yeah.
Now you have a guy who can hit a piece of tape 50 yards downfield off the crossbar. So like now you have a tremendous arm talent. Can't really move like he used to, but I would like to see. I'd like to see what they do. They didn't really throw it deep with the Rams. They kind of put, it was get the ball out quick and let your playmakers make plays. So I want to see if that changes. I want to see what McVay does. Does he do like a big brain move and redesign his offense, or does he keep it simple? Because either way, the simple stuff worked. But yeah, I don't know. I can see, the Rams. I don't know if they'll win the NFC. Brady, and I can see Brady going into that SoFi Stadium or wherever in Inglewood and just lighting it up in the divisional round. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I think I have a. If it's okay with you, I kind of have a little bit more.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we're cool talking about it for more.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
All right, cool. So, I actually want to switch gears a little bit and let's talk about the Lions' future.
So, yeah, let's do that. That's good. That's perfect. Yeah.
Lions, as we know, not a good franchise.
Never have been.
Yeah, play in Detroit, which speaks for itself. Like, just not a. Sorry, Detroit fans. Anyway, so just not a franchise that's always had a lot of hope. And while they've had Stafford, and he's always been a fan favorite for them, they've never been able to have a run game, a good offensive line, or really a good defense. Like,
Stafford, there were like 3 good years. The Jim Caldwell
2015,
years. Jim Caldwell
2015,
years.
I think.
Yeah.
They went like 11-5. And then they went 9-7, which is total bullshit that they fired Jim Caldwell after a 9-7 year, by the way.
Yeah, and then I don't
bonehead move.
Yeah, and then who'd they bring in? Patricia?
Yeah, and then they brought in Patricia and they let him. Well, the problem with that was they gave him the keys to the castle because they said, you're a New England guy and we're getting all remember they signed Trey Flowers.
Yeah.
And
no, I remember all of it.
They're like, look, we're giving you the keys to the franchise and we'll let you run the culture, which was a problem.
Bad move.
Because Patricia was not straight up fail. I think they know it was a fail, but they went all in on Patricia, making their franchise similar to how Reed has kind of made the Chiefs, but it just didn't work. So they're going with a new direction now, and I don't think Goff is the quarterback of the future. Goff is more of a bridge quarterback, like a Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair assessment. Yeah, for sure.
Their goal wasn't to win this year. It was just to develop guys on defense and stuff.
And you have Bridgewater in for, they're on a 3-year cheap team-friendly deal. You draft a first-round QB. Bridgewater mentors him. He's been around the block. So, yeah.
And Goff has 3 years left on his deal as well. And, while it's a bad contract, I don't think that really matters to them. Like, just, they're letting Kenny Golladay walk in free agency. They're building up cap flexibility. They just got 2 first-round picks, extra first-round picks, and a third. And you never know. If the Rams completely fall apart, that could be a really big trade, for them next year.
Well, also, yeah. I mean, I imagine the Lions.
You said in a group chat, if Stafford doesn't do very good, then the Rams.
That's true. There's a very good chance. Yeah, there's a very good chance he could go out and
future. Right.
Yeah.
So imagine the Lions' future if that doesn't work out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think the Lions are going to suck for a while. But I think there's a tone of optimism in Detroit. It's like every time they've brought in somebody new since Stafford, it was Jim Schwartz, Caldwell, Patricia. When they brought in Patricia, I knew it wasn't going to work out because they didn't change anything. They just switched the coach. And when it was a team problem. So I think now you have this new coach, new quarterback, you have assets. So you don't even have to use the first round picks. You can trade a first round pick and get a good player, a good young talent if you want. You can use that for assets.
Or they could have a 1-year tryout for Goff, and let's say he has a decent year, and they could flip him for a draft pick. Who knows?
There you go. Yeah.
Take a chance on him.
We did that unintentionally with
Lions
Sam
are
Bradford.
just. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So I mean,
Lions,
I
they
think
set themselves up good.
I think both teams. I hate when there's like people are like there's winners and losers of a trade. I think both teams set themselves up for positions of success. Doesn't mean either teams are going to be successful. There's a chance Stafford sucks. But I think both of the teams, it was, the Rams are going all in again, which was nice. If they wanted to make that next step, they needed better QB, and that's what they did.
And I got a question for that.
Yeah.
Do you think this all-in version, because this is the second time the Rams have gone all in,
yes,
do you think this Rams all-in buckle down version of the roster is better than the 2018 version?
Yes. I think the 2018 team was veterans. And I know they just brought in Stafford, but the stars of the Rams season this year were like new young players, like all the guys you listed.
Ramsey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, even Ramsey, but like younger than Ramsey, like Akers was the best offensive player for the Rams, right?
And then they had the tight end shined. Havenstein had a nice year.
Yeah.
Leonard Floyd, very young guy.
Exactly. So I think the Rams succeeded in 2018 because they spent big on the defense, and they kept most of their offensive pieces there too. But they spent big on defensive veterans with heavy contracts, and I mean it worked. It got them through the NFC, but they fell short. I don't know. I also
lost in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, they should have. But inconvenient opinion, the Saints had the ball last drive, and we'll do this. They had the last drive. They had the first possession in overtime, and Drew Brees choked both of them. On inconvenient truth. It's an inconvenient truth. Yeah, it should have been a penalty, but the Saints had a chance to come back.
Ball don't lie, right?
Yeah, ball exactly. I mean, we'll see. I think I don't know what the bookmakers have the Rams at now for Super Bowl odds next year. I can imagine they're in the top 5 though.
Yeah, they should be. I think they should be in the top 3, if anything. I think they should be up there with the Bills and the Chiefs. And I think in the NFC, because the NFC is about to get really a lot easier. You got the Packers who are playing. I mean, not that Rodgers is going to leave, but they're playing with a frustrated Rodgers and a front office that just doesn't seem to know how to support him. They're playing with the Saints, who I'm predicting to miss the playoffs next year, and the Bucs, who, if Tom Brady comes back, of course they'll be dangerous. But that's if he wins this year, he might retire. Also, Antonio Brown's a free agent. Chris Godwin's a free agent. They got to re-sign those guys, and also I think Shaq Barrett is going to be a free agent too, because he's coming off a franchise tag.
Yeah.
So Bucs got a lot of decisions to make. I think if they keep Brady at all, they'll obviously be up there, but that's kind of an even matchup with them.
Yeah.
And then you got the Niners to worry about, but hey, I think I think the jury's still out on Jimmy G, because he didn't look very good in the games he played this year before he got hurt, of course.
Yeah.
So
bring in Kirk Cousins. that is making a stupid trade and doing nothing for your franchise. I'm not a Kirk Cousins person.
Kirk Cousins, I mean, he guarantees them a playoff spot because
probably. I mean,
I'd say Jimmy G still has to prove.
You won't go back to the Super Bowl.
I don't think Kirk Cousins has to try to send them to the Super Bowl.
The Vikings
but they would win. They would lose. They would lose with Kirk Cousins in the Super Bowl, though.
The Vikings brought in Kirk Cousins when they were a win away from the Super Bowl and won a playoff game. So I don't know. So here I have the Super Bowl 56 odds. The Chiefs are the clear favorites. However, tied for second, they all have the same odds at about plus 1,100. So you have Bucs, Bills, and Packers all have 1,100. The Rams have 1,200. So the Rams are the top 5. Behind them are the Niners, and behind the Niners are the Ravens.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think that's fair
for Vegas to stay.
Yeah.
You'll see how the rest of the offseason plays out. Apparently, the Ravens still have money somehow. So
they have the best GM in football, probably.
Oh yeah, I mean,
a very underrated
yeah.
GM, at least. Eric DeCosta is doing a great job in Baltimore. I mean, we'll see. That's on Lamar. I think Lamar's the answer. He's just got to win the big games, and every year he's getting better at doing
I mean,
stuff.
Lamar's the topic for another day, but
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say I am very, very excited to see this Rams team. And even if you're not a Matthew Stafford guy, if you're not a Rams guy, you're gonna want to watch this team. And you know what's great is that since, hopefully speaking, we're gonna start to have fans coming back, especially because in California, I think they're a little more sensitive to that. But with that new stadium and with fans coming in, and they finally have their quarterback set. Like they can say that, I mean, Goff was a draw, but it was arguable if Goff was still good or not. So
yeah,
I just think
I'm not familiar with the Rams, what the opinion was on Jared Goff in LA.
No, I know some Rams fans, they were fed up with him.
Okay, that makes sense.
So here's I'm gonna give a floor. Let's do floor and ceiling predictions for the Rams.
Sure.
So my floor for the Rams is 10-6, and the reason why is because Jared Goff did not play well this year, and they somehow went 10. They went, where do they go? 10-6, and they won a playoff game.
Yeah.
So that is my floor for them, and I think the ceiling, which should be the expectation for them, is because they made this trade. Let's call it like it is. They made this trade to win the Super Bowl. So I think if they don't win the Super Bowl,
their expectation. That is
right.
Within
and this is the second time they've done this within 3 years. So if they don't win the Super Bowl, it's absolutely a fail.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. I think maybe they have a little lower floor. Like I think they could go 10-6, which I wouldn't mark that up as a failure because it's a completely different game in the playoffs. Like the Buccaneers were looking like a failure and they're in the Super Bowl. But maybe there's a chance Stafford gets hurt or Stafford's like washed and can't play outside of whatever.
That's boring injury and stuff, but
that's fair. Yeah, I mean,
if Stafford plays a 16
he's got a
games,
good team around him. Yeah, if Stafford plays like he did last year, they're in the conversation for winning the Super Bowl, definitely.
That's what you think, but I'm just saying, like with the Rams' expectation, they better win the Super Bowl with this because this is such a high risk move.
And Super Bowl 56 is in LA. So with that, we'll transition into this year's Super Bowl. Super Bowl 55, Chiefs Buccaneers in Tampa. We have 22,000 fans in attendance, including.
It's in Tampa?
It's in Tampa, yeah.
Holy shit! That just changed my whole Super Bowl pick.
Yeah, it's in Tampa, but
Brady's playing at home.
They're not letting in Yes, but they're not letting in Buccaneers. It's a neutral field game, but they're not letting Bucs fans come into the stadium. Like season ticket holders. Like Buccaneers season ticket holders aren't allowed to go to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so a Bucs fan can still go to the Super Bowl.
Correct, but you had to buy them like a normal fan. So there's 22,000 fans at the stadium, 2,500 fans. 7,500 of them are vaccinated healthcare workers, so that's good for the NFL. And real quick, the NFL COVID protocol has been the best COVID protocol in all sports because it's been the closest to normal. And I know they've had outbreaks. The protocols only broke when people broke
the
them.
NBA. I mean, come on now.
They didn't have to do a bubble. The only time the protocols broke were when people broke the protocols, like the Titans and even your Raiders, the O-line room fucking with the proximity things or whatever,
Yeah, but I mean, come on, you
guys are the only one that got punished, which is stupid.
Yeah,
it's just the
Titans should have gotten
punished
in $1 million because like Gruden put his mask down once. Like, what the hell, man? Like, why are they picking on us?
Yeah, they've done a phenomenal job with containing coronavirus in the NFL. I think the NHL will ultimately do the best with it just because they, they'll do well. But the NFL brought fans in. Before the NFL season, it was no fans until everybody in America is vaccinated. I think all but like 3 teams in the NFL had fans at some point in their stadiums. So, I mean,
I think it was like the Raiders didn't have them and the Rams, probably the California
Raiders, the California teams, the Giants, and I think the Vikings didn't have people. So, I mean, 6 teams. So 26 out of 32.
Jets, because they play in the same stadium.
Jets, Giants, that's 2. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Still, most teams had fans at some point in the stadium. and that's remarkable. You know, and 100% recovery rate in the NFL. Nobody got sick and died, which is amazing.
Right.
So
not even the coaches, right?
No coaches got sick and died, and which is amazing. So I guess let's talk about the big game. Who do you have in this game? Who do you have winning this game?
Well, first of all, I want to say that this is going to be an all-time classic, and it's just a shame that in this year, and especially around this time of year, usually people are planning their Super Bowl parties right about now.
Yeah.
But hey, I think we can all be grateful that while some of us can't really see each other on this day, that we're gonna have the best game of the year, in my opinion. I think because you got the Bucks at their absolute hottest right now. Not back in week 11 when they were like dwindling and they were on a losing streak. And then you get the Chiefs are always at their best, as they could just flip the switch like that.
The playoff mode, yeah.
And then you have the ultimate like NFL wet dream quarterback matchup. You got the best quarterback of all time versus a guy who's on the trajectory. I mean, I don't want to call. I hate when people bring that up, but it is true. This is the best start we've ever seen to a career. So
easily. Yeah, I mean,
we're seeing the ultimate quarterback matchup, and I don't think I'm ready to go first with my pick. What do you got, man?
I think it's the Chiefs, and I think it's a passing of the torch. And I've said this so many damn times with Tom Brady that I'm nervous to make this prediction, but it's like Tom Brady. This has been such a, this is a gift to him. At home Super Bowl with everything around him. Like Brady wins the Super Bowls when his team sucks. He didn't win the perfect season Super Bowl, but he won, in 2018 with a busted up Gronk and Edelman. So, I mean, when his back's against the wall, that's
28-3.
There's too much going for Tom Brady in this game, the home Super Bowl. That rushing attack and defense are championship caliber for Tampa. And he's got that best passing offense on paper, and he's trying to put that into practice. And it's just too much that'll work out for the Buccaneers. And I think the Chiefs, I think this is a passing of the torch from Brady as the greatest player to Mahomes as to, all right, here's to the next 20. Brady's had his 20. Here's the next 20. Brady's gotten the 10 Super Bowls.
I think a good phrase for this is because Mahomes is playing. Obviously, Brady is no longer playing like a top 5 quarterback. But if you ask someone who's the face of the NFL, they'll probably say Tom Brady. And this is the official moment, probably.
Yep.
Because to the absolute, because to us NFL fans, Brady isn't really the face. But to the casual NFL fan, I think, after this game, if Mahomes wins, I think they'll probably say when they think of the NFL, they're going to think of Mahomes.
Yeah, and I think that is this mark. I think, from 2000 to 2020, it has been Tom Brady's NFL from winning perspective. And I think from 2020 to 2040, it'll be Patrick Mahomes. Is like, he's not going to win the Super Bowl every year for 20 years, but he's going to be as
even Brady
had
he had a 9-year gap from when he won the Super Bowl.
So I think the combination of Brady's got too many things working for him right now. He needs to grind them out. He needs to grit out Super Bowls. And I don't know. I really think, that the Chiefs have this because I think, they can just flip on the switch too. They did that in the Super Bowl in the fourth quarter last year against the Niners. And I think, similar situation, really. If you look at the Buccaneers and you look at the Niners, they're very similar teams, really great defenses. The Niners had a hell of a rushing attack last year.
I would say the Bucs are like a borderline elite defense, and the Niners were the absolute best.
Yeah, so I guess even a little worse.
More balance,
Yeah, I mean, if you look at
that's a fair pick. You can't go wrong, really. It's either or in this Super Bowl.
If you look at the and I hate to do this, but if you look at the playoff wins for the Buccaneers, they've had 3 great wins, but it was against Washington. They were going to win that. It was against New Orleans, when it was more New Orleans lost the game than Tampa won. And you could even make the argument for Green Bay. That being said, Tampa played very well. But if you look at the Chiefs lost Mahomes against a very good upstart hot Browns team. Like they lost Mahomes, they pulled it out, they eked that one out, and then they just blew the Buffalo Bills, who were the Super Bowl, everyone's Super Bowl pick, out of the water. So
D1, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. That's why I got to go with Mahomes. That's why I think it's his time. I think Brady started out his career with 2 consecutive Super Bowl wins, and I think Mahomes is going to do the same thing. So that's my prediction.
Okay, so to start off, I got the Chiefs. Now that I thought about it, but this is my reasoning for it. So this game will be a carbon copy of the 2018 AFC Championship game, with when the Patriots are playing the Chiefs, and it was basically a situation of both quarterbacks made minimal mistakes, but it was pretty much back and forth the whole time. But at the very end, if you remember, like with clock management and stuff, it was Bill Belichick who outcoached Andy Reid. And that was the difference. Mahomes at the time was obviously a better quarterback than like a 40-year-old Tom Brady. Ever since he stepped on a field, he's pretty much been better. But that didn't really matter because Tom Brady just had the coach on his side. At the time, remember the Patriots and the Chiefs were neck and neck that year. Kind of a crazy because some people were half on the Brady side, half on the Mahomes side for who was going to make the Super Bowl. Ended up being the Patriots. Mm-hmm. But in this situation, the better quarterback has the better coach. Andy Reid, I think, is 100% a better coach than Bruce Arians. And, I respect Arians' offense, but I just think Andy Reid is going to make more stuff happen for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid, I mean, as much as an offensive coach he is, he's been pretty good with the pass rush, or maybe that's the defensive coordinator.
Spagnuolo. Yeah, what's his name? Steve Spagnuolo has been very good for the the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs. But yeah, if you remember last year, like Chris Jones was what started that whole fourth quarter turnaround with that sack on Jimmy G. So I think that they're going to be able to get to Brady.
Yep.
Because I think their D line is superior to the Bucs offensive line. Bucs line is pretty good though. So yeah, I think this game is not going to let us down. It's going to be a big quarterback matchup, kind of back and forth.
Yep.
But it won't be like an offensive slugfest like the Rams Chiefs. It'll have some defense.
It'll be a classic. I'm thinking for a Super Bowl comparison, 49.
Eagles. Yeah, is that Eagles Patriots?
Patriots Seahawks in 2014, the Malcolm Butler game. Because I mean the Patriots Eagles was a slugfest. There was no defense that game. It was just
down. Get the game-winning strip sack.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, but that was also they scored 80 or 74 points. It was 41-33. I mean, I don't think they're going to put up 41-33, but I also, I think it's going to be like
points for this one.
20. Give me 31-27 Chiefs. That's my prediction.
I'm gonna go with.
Let me write this down.
And you should. In what fashion do you think they're gonna win?
What do you mean? Like
do you think Mahomes gets a game-winning drive? Do you think Brady loses it? Do you think someone fumbles? What happens? Do you think the Bucs will either come back and come short at the end?
Chiefs are up like 17-14 at the half. Like they're up at the half. They weren't up to start. They were down 14-10. Chiefs scored a touchdown before the half. The Weeknd does his halftime show. That'll be fun. He's got some hits out right now. Bullshit, he didn't win a Grammy. Let's see on me. Brady comes out swinging in the second half, but the turning point is that the kicker's going to shank a PAT. So the Bucs.
That's a good one.
Bucs received the kickoff out of the second half. March down the field to score. Mahomes throws a pick. They take advantage of the short field position. Score again.
Very specific.
27 towards the end. It's the middle end of the third quarter. 27. Kicker doinks a PAT. and then Mahomes gets the ball back, gives it up. Chiefs and Buccaneers, same thing. They give the ball up. Chiefs drives out in the field and score. Tom Brady makes an uncharacteristic mistake, throws a high ball to Mike Evans. Mike Evans tips it, picked off, falls in Tyrann Mathieu's lap. Chiefs get the ball back at their own 40, drive down the field, score 31-27, and then hold off Brady on the final possession. Bucs don't make it down the field. Ends on a Hail Mary like they always do. And for the third Super Bowl in a row, Gronk drops the Hail Mary in the end zone. So there you go.
Wow.
There you go.
I'm not gonna do a quarter by quarter thing like that. But
give me a score.
I think we're gonna. I think the final score will be. I think it's going to be Chiefs 31 and Bucs 31. And I know that's going to be high scoring. No, Chiefs 31, Bucs. Okay. No, Chiefs 34, Bucs 31. Oh, I was like, my bad.
Okay, well that's good. That's fair.
Okay, anyway, I think in this Super Bowl, each team is going to have a defensive touchdown.
I can see that happening.
I think in the first quarter, both. This is definitely not going to happen, but I'm just going to say it. I think both quarterbacks are either going to like fumble, like a strip sack.
Yeah. I can see
interception, touchdown.
Yeah.
And I think it'll happen drive after drive.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I'm. Yeah, probably like a 95% chance that it doesn't happen, but that'd be cool if it did. Anyway, so then I don't really have any predictions for like what it's going to be at half or anything, but the way I think the game will end is I think
Chiefs kneel it out, or does Tampa get the stop, or does Chiefs get the stop on Tampa?
I think Chiefs get the stop on Tampa, but Brady's not going to make the game-losing interception. I think it'll be like, maybe. Oh, I got it. Sure. So there's going to be 25 seconds. There's going to be like 15 to 10 seconds left. Yeah. They're really trying to get into field goal range. Yeah. And like, and then they take 2 holding penalties in a row that take them out of field goal range. And then they throw a Hail Mary again. And maybe not Gronk drops it, but it gets broken up and the game ends.
I see. I mean, okay, that's fair. So we both have.
Also, I'm going to call him out. I think Tristan Wirfs gets the game-losing penalty.
Okay, there you go.
He'll make a rookie holding call on Chris Jones because he doesn't want to give up the sack that loses the game. Because I think at that point they'll have 0 timeouts.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if they. I'll write that down. I'll see. That'll be interesting if they called penalties at the end of the Super Bowl. I don't know. They don't call a lot of penalties in Super Bowls.
Well, they did with D Ford in the championship.
That's true. And
that was literally the game.
That's a really good point. I'll give you that. That's a really good point. So I guess we're going to transition away from sports for a second and talk about an issue that kind of was developing before we recorded last week's episode, but it's an issue that's kind of fresh on people's mind. The GameStop Robinhood stock situation.
Okay, I'm going to be 100% honest with everyone. Yeah. I saw the memes and I heard the headlines and stuff, but I don't know all the details just yet. I haven't read like an article on it, so I'm going to let Sam take the lead.
Do you want me to? Okay, I can explain it. So what happened was there's a subreddit called Wall Street Bets, and it's basically like people that treat the Wall Street as a meme, and people say like stocks is gambling, and there are people like no, it's not, but it is. So it's those type of people that like gamble on stocks. A hedge fund recently said that we are going to short GameStop. So when they say short it, they mean it's basically investing money in the probability or betting on the probability that the stock's going to lose.
They did that in The Big Short, kind of like when that guy was betting against the housing market. So they're betting against GameStop, right?
Exactly. Perfect. 100%. Yes.
That's not really a bad bet because GameStop is a
no, it wasn't. It's bankrupt. It was going bankrupt. So the Wall Street
COVID and like people,
and you can buy video games online.
On the PS4,
yeah, exactly. So yeah, so it was a good bet, but the people at Wall Street Bets figured out that this guy was going to short the stocks, and they're like, let's just buy a fuck ton of GameStop because it was like I think $15 a share. So people just started flooding the market and buying GameStop share. So of course, if everybody,
real quick, who was the guy who wanted to short GameStop?
I can't remember, but it was a hedge fund venture capitalist guy.
Wasn't he like really perfect? But not perfect, really rich. And that was like
these are incredibly rich people that are shorting it. Yeah, like billions of he was worth billions of dollars. So so these people just invest in GameStop. So the GameStop price stock shot up, obviously. So it's like, and people didn't understand that, but it's like if you're in a store, like a grocery store, and everybody just buys bread, the price of bread is going to go up, but the store is going to lose money because people are only buying bread. So that's what happened with the market. And so the hedge funds that bet on the short bet for the stock to fail kept having to invest more in GameStop. So as the price is going up, they're putting in more money in this bet to fail. So they're losing money trying to get it to go down, and it keeps going up. They ended up losing last Wednesday. They lost like $15 billion, and they were going to go bankrupt. Like
of all these guys?
What?
Combined of all these guys that were shorting them, or
I think this was just one fund. No, the hedge fund lost $15 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, in one day. So then the next day, they the app they buy it on is called Robinhood, which is how you trade. And so Robinhood inhibited people from buying GameStop, from buying, and a few other stocks like AMC, like the movie theater corporation, Nokia, who made the brick cell phones, and like random ass stocks. Like you couldn't buy them, you could only sell them, which is highly illegal. So like
the app did this.
The developers of the app, I'm guessing, were pressured to not let people buy any more GameStop stock. So the GameStop stock
This might be a little conspiracy theorist, but
sure.
Do you think that they were pressured by the guys on Wall Street or people from the government?
Both.
Like economists and whatnot.
I think they were pressured by the people of Wall Street. 100%.
I think that's more likely than like someone who's in the government.
More than the government, but they were pressured by people at Wall Street. So they just, which is, by the way, that's illegal. So that's the outrage. So like, wait a minute. These people, which is what the hedge funds do. The hedge funds control the prices of stocks through investing. So as soon as, the Wall Street Bets people figure it out, they're like, wait, what the fuck? What? That's where the outrages come up. And I'll talk about this. So of course you get like the far left people that are like, this is capitalism failing. And in a lot of ways it is, because it's, so if you were a believer in capitalism, you were mad because this isn't free market. And if you were a believer in socialism, you were mad.
This is literally just like, this is someone like, I think a good metaphor for this would just be like, I don't know, like a kid on the lawn is collecting too many Frisbees. And then like the teacher just takes it away, even though he fairly got the Frisbees and everyone's saying he should have them.
Yeah.
Is that a decent metaphor for it? And then just like some random teacher, just because they have power, are taking the Frisbees away.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Yeah, definitely. Okay. And especially if you kept having the Frisbees, or other kids kept taking the Frisbees from you and didn't get in trouble for it, but now your Frisbees get taken.
Right. I think the whole reason why this manipulation probably happened is I bet the Wall Street guys are just like, oh, these stupid, like, these losers on Reddit are doing this. Like, these guys are easier to manipulate. We can do this and they'll sweep it under the rug. But it's been huge national news everywhere. I mean, like you got CNN, CNBC, Fox, everyone's talking about it.
Story.
Right.
And
haven't stopped.
Ted Cruz and Donald Trump Jr. were pissed off about it. AOC was pissed off about it.
For the first time ever, AOC and Ted Cruz agreed with each other on Twitter.
Yeah. So that's huge that they agreed, So this is a big issue for that. the one point I want to make, it's obviously bullshit that Robinhood and other stock, it was not just Robinhood, but it was other stock traders only allowed them to sell. It's bullshit that they succumbed to the higher Wall Street powers and didn't let people buy more GameStop shares. Like, that's kind of ridiculous.
Right. And it's, not that
you
I
really-
blame the developers, but I blame the guys on Wall Street.
There's clearly, yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's clearly unfair. A big thing is I've seen a lot of shit from the left side, the far left side, like the absolutely hate capitalism for what it's worth. And this has been a failure of capitalism. I'm, whatever. This has been a failure of capitalism. But like, people are acting like it's rich stealing from poors. I mean, the people that are buying these stocks on the Wall Street Bet subreddit are not like poor people. Like, poor people can't blow $150 on a meme. Like, you can't, like, these people had money to spend and they knew what they were doing. They could have done this the whole time. And also, like, these aren't like the Marxist working class heroes that people think they are. These are Redditors that are like make fun of people with disabilities and like some like user potato in my ass is not going to liberate the fucking make America socialist.
No.
Like, come on.
Here is an exact representation of who these people are. Is that a guy got arrested outside of a GameStop because he was chanting stonks for 8 hours straight outside of the GameStop.
Really?
You can look it up. It's a real story.
Fucking great. And it's so funny. I mean, and plus,
hold up, I might put the link in the chat one sec.
Okay.
But yeah, keep talking.
I want to see what the GameStop stock price is now, because I bet they still made money. They probably still, if you bought when it GameStop, the GameStop stock closed at $92 today. For it was $20 2 weeks ago.
The GameStop stock?
Yeah, it was $20 2 weeks ago. It peaked at $350 last week. So if you sold at any point, you still made money. It's still $90. If you bought it at 20, you still made a ton of money off of stocks. So I mean,
is GameStop making profit off this? Are they still doing well, or is it like turned around since?
GameStop, I think GameStop bought themselves a couple more months of existence. I think that a lot of retailers, especially after COVID, are going to go under, and I think GameStop bought them some time. I think the AMC movie theaters is the new fun stock that people are trying to get off the ground. It's just not working as well. Yeah, I mean,
hold on, is my connection still on? Or am I?
No, you're good.
I don't know, it's kind of freezing.
AMC stock is $8. And it just didn't work out.
Redditors buying that.
Yeah, that's been the new thing, is buying AMC. Which last week it was $4 and now it's $8, or $9. So that's really good. I mean, still, I think this is good because it opens a lot of people to the stock market, especially young people. And the schools don't teach us about the stock markets, like how there's things, if you're good at gaming, like financial markets, you can do better with your money than, just having it sit in a bank account. Or, if they taught us how to be financially literate before they taught us about like fossils and old ass books and shit, like we would be so much better off as a country, and we'd have, more, it would be less disequitous economically if we learned how to use the financial markets to our advantage. And we wouldn't have to do these massive revolution that everybody wants. Like,
right. And like, I see a lot of people talking about this. They're just, and that's why like a lot of people, when they talk about economics and stuff, they end up having fundamentally like flawed beliefs, like 100% believing in communism, because we don't really talk about economic systems in school, or at least I haven't yet. I mean, maybe you do when you get, like, depends on the high school, but at least me going to a public high school, we haven't really talked that much about that.
You talk about, I don't know, we talked about economic systems like communism, like what it was, like communism and capitalism and the differences. but they don't teach you about how to take advantage of the American financial system. Like I've always had stock holdings. I've always had stock holdings because I watched YouTube videos about it when I was like 15 because I wanted to multiply my money and use that. And I don't know. I also kind of have like a gambling. I just dropped my pen, so I was writing something down. I also kind of have like a gambling personality. Like I like to gamble a little bit, and this is
Yeah, no, you're always telling me about like you usually bet on like the NFL games.
Lifetime
like,
I'm up.
Lifetime
I'm up. I haven't bet in 6 weeks, but lifetime I'm up on bets. I'm not bad at gambling by any means, but but you got to be careful. I'm not addicted. I've a friend that's not good at winning bets, but yeah. Anyways,
I think that's definitely, but that's a good subtopic to bring up because like before I was on this call, I had no knowledge of what apps were running, these stock tradings.
Yeah.
And that's definitely a good thing to know about, especially that these I think the main problem is that like, people are putting their money into these things and they're really trusting it. Like not that it's the same thing, but it's like it's almost like if B of A suddenly turned on you, how mad would you be? So do you think
I mean, you said like Bank of America?
Yeah, like imagine if B of A just like, magically took some of your money.
Yeah, that would piss me off. I think Wells Fargo did that a few years ago. But yeah, not my money, but they did it to other people's money.
What would they do on that?
They took people's money and like put it in. They invested in things without their consent or like took money out of their accounts. It was really fucked up. The banks get away with a lot of fucked up, or they don't get away with it. But the banks do a lot of fucked up shit. Like you could
even cover that up. Did they just say, "Oh, we were straight up stealing. We're sorry, my bad"? Like,
I think they got caught in an investigation, and then they're like, "Yeah, this is us. Sorry." I'll send you a Wikipedia article, but it's kind of gross what they did. That's why the Sixers, when this is kind of bringing it back to sports, whenever the Sixers say they have a game at their arena is called the Wells Fargo Center, the Sixers don't write out Wells Fargo Center. They say the Center.
Okay. But they haven't renamed it yet.
No, it is called it says Wells Fargo Center, but the Sixers don't want to put the Wells Fargo in it because the scandal is that bad.
And so when they introduce the games, they're just like, welcome everyone to the center.
Yeah. Or it'll be like Sixers Hornets live at the center instead of like the Wells Fargo Center or the Lincoln Financial Field or whatever. They'll just say the center. But there you go. I just sent you what it's about. It's kind of gross. But yeah, I
read
mean,
up on that a little later. But anyway,
yeah,
back to this. I'm curious, just because I'm a little new to understanding everything that's in this situation. Is there anyone that is, taking the opposite stance that you are, and what's their argument for it?
Yeah, so
kind of united that this is kind of a fucked up thing.
That's a big thing. So there are people that do oppose the common point of view, my point of view, and a lot of other people's, which are like hedge fund people are saying, people are treating this like a joke, like this is a game. It's not a game. This is money. And also sometimes, since these are funds, these are hedge funds, so other people buy into it. So when hedge funds lose money, the fund loses money, and thus the people involved in the hedge fund lose money.
Yeah.
So it's
they know that going in that could happen.
Right, but when you buy in, this is where it gets fucked up. When you have enough money and you buy into a hedge fund, the idea is that your money is safe forever and you will become richer exponentially by doing nothing in a hedge fund. So like when a hedge fund loses money, like shit's fucked up. Like it's bad. That means like when the rich people lose money, they're pissed because they bought into this hedge fund and they're like, what the fuck? I paid you money to manage this. So I guess the people that would be pissed off are the people that lost money as a result of GameStop. And
so everyone who bought into these shorts, like, were they not?
Well, they didn't.
So there's a hedge fund, right? And like, is that basically where rich people say, look, hedge fund, if you uh, uh, get me these shorts or whatever,
Yeah.
then I'll make money, and I don't, I'll just trust you to do the right thing, and I don't have to keep track.
Yeah,
Is that what
exactly.
it is?
It's basically like,
Okay.
I'm a billionaire. Here's $15 billion. I'm into your hedge fund. Make me 100. And hedge fund, the managers of the hedge fund will make investments with your 15 billion and other people's billion to make you money and the other people in the fund money.
And I'm imagining these rich people don't check in with what they're doing with these investments. They just say, "Make me money."
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So yeah, so it's probably just the 1% that's mad at everyone. There's like all
This
these
is
damn predators,
this is
these kids who
top.
don't touch
Yeah,
grass.
this is
Yeah.
top 1% of one. This is like top one of one. Like this is
Everyone else is just like, whatever, man. Like, you're lost.
right. The reality is that 98 to 99% of America didn't, isn't like involved in this or whatever, like let alone own. I think it said something where it's like 92, only 8% of Americans buy will like actively invest in stocks or like
I just saw
something.
the link pop up of the arrest, but yeah, keep going.
Yeah. It was, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So, yeah, the people that be pissed off are the hedge fund owners. And that's where it's kind of like ironic because it's like you lost billions of dollars, but you also have billions of dollars and you make plenty of money. So stop whining. So that's why people are pissed off. But I mean, if this continued, though, a lot of hedge funds would go bankrupt, which would hurt the health of the stock market. But I mean, also, this stock market's been a juggernaut.
Is it not just one hedge fund?
It's a few. It's a few that listen to the advice of
It
other.
would do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, $15 billion were lost in one day. That's a lot. That's a lot of money, And if it continued,
What's the future of this?
if the meme continued, they'd lose more, and it would be worse the next day and the day, which is how it works. And then they'd have to make it back, and that gets harder.
So then that's a little bit of a counter argument there. So
Yeah.
if these hedge funds, like the apps and stuff, right? And
Yeah.
if they didn't stop, if they just did fair play down the middle and they let these Redditors keep buying stock
Yeah.
and GameStop, so maybe you can make the argument that they stop them because they want the economy to do better. Because knowing Redditors, this meme would not stop. Like this would.
Yeah. It was better. Yeah. So the stocks went up a lot of money when they stopped allowing people to buy GameStop. The stock market, the overall market was better on that one day when they terrorized the market. The stock they lost 2% in one day, which is a big chunk. Like the overall market went down 2%. So I mean, yeah. So for the overall health of the market, it was smart for them to not sell it, but also it's it's bullshit because it's like people. I always tell people to like buy into stocks if you want to, or like look into how you spend your money or how you invest, like where you put your money. And if people are making investments and now they have to even the playing field for the billionaires, like what the fuck, like that's what they did is they even the playing field for people that don't want the playing field even because they make money. So that's the outrage basically. Is it's like people who have rigged the system for years are now they're not even having the system rigged against them. These are people that know what they're doing, but it's like I don't know. There's outrage. So yeah.
So have they already has this kind of reached is this sort of moot now as if they kind of reached the end with it, and the Redditors are just kind of accepting like, we got fucked,
Yeah, and they kept their
is.
money. Yeah, the Redditors still made money off the GameStop stock, and
isn't that true that like some people got like a lot of money off of this?
Yeah, if you bought.
Do you have any personal stories with some friends who made money off this or no?
No,
like, none of my friends have these stock market stuff.
My friends weren't in tune to this type of shit, so they were like they bought high, and now and they didn't capitalize on it, so they I had a friend that bought like $100 of AMC and sold it all when it lost money. So he sold it at a loss, bought back into it, and now he's even. So it's like, I don't know. He tried to play the market, and the market played him, which that also happens. There's an element of risk involved.
Yeah.
You make
It pretty much is gambling, just
right.
more professional.
And that's another thing. That's another thing. So it's like when you invest, you take on risk, and the people that take the most financial risk get rewarded the most. And that was the justification for the hedge funds. So when they took a risk and they were not rewarded, they're like, if you took a risk, you should still be able to lose a risk. That's why you took a risk. If you're just getting rewarded, that's unfair. And that's what this thing kind of exposed. But I mean, yeah, it just exposed a lot of.
Proved, I think since you kind of wanted to get into the left versus right sort of part, because like pretty much everything that happens in America turns into a left versus right debate, pretty much.
Yeah.
This is like, I don't know if this is necessarily like a capitalism failing itself. I think this is people cheating capitalism.
Yeah, this is people playing the system to their advantage, which is no different than when a hedge fund or people. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Not the Redditors. I think the people who like took the money from the Redditors, like the rich, the Wall Street people who said make them stop buying them. I think
that's kind of rigged.
I think that's just them cheating.
That is cheating.
I think that's just them cheating.
Yep. Bingo.
Because they didn't play. Because if they played by the rules of capitalism and still found a way to cheat the Redditors out, then you'd probably have an argument. But they just didn't. They did a direct violation of the rules.
Yeah.
Right. It would be the same thing if in communism, someone somehow
got rich or something like that.
Be a lot more, richer than everyone else. Yeah. That wouldn't necessarily be a failure of communism. It'd just be cheating.
Yeah.
So, I think this shouldn't be a left versus right thing. They should just be like, something happened. It was fucked up. We don't have to turn this into a war about it.
The best thing that this could do is raise the average person's interest in the stock market and getting people invested in the stock market. Because ultimately, it's a really good thing. And if you put your money, like the money you make in the stocks, you'll make more money than putting in a bank account, but you could also lose money. But not really. Like if you hold on to it for a while, it'll make money. So, I mean, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I don't know. We did go a little over on time today.
Oh, one last thing, though. I found
what's up?
So it says here.
Read the article.
I don't know if you can read that, but here's a picture of the guy.
I can't read it, but I see the picture of the guy's face.
It says, man arrested for screaming stonks outside of GameStop high on PCP for 36 straight hours.
36? How does head not explode? My God. It's fucking hilarious, man.
I think he set up like a tent and then just screams. Maybe he was just screamed stonks once and then had it playing on the speaker.
That's funny as shit, man. I mean,
and the people in the comments saying it's he ain't do nothing wrong. Free the boy.
I love free the homie people because it's especially when people do stuff wrong.
It's like TK shoots up an entire McDonald's. Free TK. He ain't do nothing wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. What is it? Melly? Is it YMW Melly who killed 3 people, and including a sheriff and 2 of his friends? Yeah, bro. He why do you want that guy free? He killed 3 people. If you're being accused of murdering 3 people, there's a good chance that you killed one of those 3 people on occasions. So I mean,
yeah, it's the same thing. Bill Cosby got accused of rape 37 times. He probably did it.
37 people aren't lying about rape. This isn't whatever. Right.
And he's not even that good of a rapper, so chill out on that.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a good.
I know we're a little over, but did I have one more thing?
We'll have to save it for next time because we're an hour 20. I'm sorry. It's a good topic. There's going to be a lot of downtime. Right now, it's kind of an uptick in sports because of the NFL playoffs and it's a lot going around in the UFC world. But I mean, we're going to have a lot of dead time, during baseball season in the summer when, shit's boring and it's regular season baseball where we can talk about anything, we want. But
we got off-season football coming up.
Yep, that's
that'll be a little rough because we're gonna be talking about Deshaun Watson updates while at the same time talking about the Stipe Francis fight.
There's
in
so much going
20
on in sports, and it's so good to have him back. Like
Oh, yeah,
we're
100%.
a month removed from when sports went dark for 2 months, and even longer than that because it was just UFC for a while. Like there was no pro sports from when did baseball start? From March 11th to July, late July, there was no sports, and now everything's back, and that's where I'm you got to be
Did
thankful
UFC
for
come back in
everything.
late May?
Yeah,
In May with the Gators Ferguson fight?
yeah, I remember that. That was huge. Like that, that was yeah, just be grateful for everything. I was always kind of bored of like, you know, even like, no, you took sports for granted back then. Like sports always happened, and now when they were gone, you felt it. But yeah, March Madness
It's
too.
like taken away. Yeah, that was supposed to be like such an exciting tournament too, and so many guys just like Wiseman went to the draft, and we didn't get to see Edwards, and
We didn't get to
so many
see,
guys that would have
yeah,
been
Dayton
popping in
High
his last
Flyers.
year with Dayton.
Yeah. Man.
They had a chance to make it to the Final Four.
You know what? But everything's
Not that I
back.
know a whole lot about college basketball, but
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
it
No,
would have
you're
been
right.
fun.
Yeah. But you know what? Sports are back. They're back. We're gonna get fans. I bet this year we're gonna get fans, indoor and outdoor. And then
You think I got a decent shot at going to a Raiders game inside? Well, they call it the Death Star now.
in Vegas, yes,
Legion Stadium, because it is indoor.
yeah. I mean it's Vegas, and that's September. I really I'm making it. I'm gonna make an educated guess, but like I think life is gonna look a lot better this spring, and life's gonna look better than the spring and the summer, and then I think it'll just be like, oh no.
I'm happy I'm gonna get a senior year, at least for high school.
I think
You
you'll get
know,
a senior year. It's bullshit that we've been online that they didn't. That it's bullshit, and I'm not gonna get too far into it. But it's bullshit that the Zoom school was like a 2 month solution, and it's gonna be longer than that. It's gonna be over a year of Zoom college and Zoom. Like these poor. I feel bad more for like kindergartners. Like
yeah, like and I feel even worse for their parents because obviously you can't expect a kindergartner to be independent. Hell, I wasn't independent at that age. Like, I
yeah,
think I already told the story how I got kicked out of my karate dojo,
right,
banned for life, by the way.
right,
So I wasn't ready to take a kindergarten class by myself. So then these parents have to watch over their kids and make sure they're still learning,
right,
which is just, because these parents got to work and stuff. They got lives of their
yeah,
own.
yeah,
And then I'm just thinking about all the fifth graders who don't get their field day.
yeah.
It just
I
everyone
mean,
just has to take an L on this one. But
yeah, my town in Jersey had a graduation, but I mean, shoot, yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. This is gonna. It's really the worst part is this is gonna. What happened. The pandemic's not gonna be the worst thing of this. The economic and the mental health toll will be much worse than the pandemic was, and the pandemic was awful. But yeah. Anyway, ending on a sad note. Be grateful for things because we're going to be, things are going to come back. It looks like things are going to come back. We have more vaccinated than confirmed cases in this country overall. And that's a remarkable accomplishment. And that's only going to go up. Johnson & Johnson, 100 million single dose vaccines by June. So 100 million people.
Vaccine this week, so it's starting in my family too.
There you go. I'm due. I don't know. I have a lot of friends that got vaccinated, but I'm due to get vaccinated. They're starting vaccinating people with like at-risk people in next week in Washington D.C. So I'm scheduled mid-March. I filled out a form of everything, and I'm scheduled to get one mid-March. So I mean that's great. That's great. It's great that I'm getting a vaccine this year.
You being young too, that's a big W.
Yep, that's true. That too.
Anyway, to add on like a good end note, I just encourage people to just put, there's a lot of doubt, and there's just a lot of people questioning the status quo of pretty much everything. But please just trust this vaccine.
Please, yeah, please,
I beg you, because if you love normal life, like most of us do.
Yep.
You know, this is the only solution. And the only way, if you want to go to school, if you want to work, you got to take it. So just please, I encourage you all to take this and go back to doing the things you love.
I think eventually people are going to take it. Because, I mean, it used when the vaccine news was first announced, and right now it doesn't seem that way. And I'm very big vaccine supporter. I want people to get vaccinated. It was like 40% of the country.
If I want to defend the vaccine to like my friends and stuff who think they know stuff by doubting it, I just screenshot Sam's stories and just send it.
There you go. Okay, you know what? I didn't know that. So, that's a huge compliment. There you go. Yeah, please get vaccinated. If you got a chance, you know, and our government, the local governments have to tell people how to get vaccinated better. But if you get a chance, take the time, schedule an appointment if you can, call your doctor, or call a medical provider, get vaccinated because, you know, it's 100% effective at stopping coronavirus death. You will not die if you are vaccinated. That is the main point. And you will probably not get sick. You will probably not even get infected. Odds are you're probably not going to even get like the disease. So get your vaccines. We can do this. We'll get back to normal if we get vaccinated. But yeah, I mean, there you go.
All of us, as uniting, being united is the most powerful tool.
Yep. We got to do this together. Yep. There you go. Well,
anyone, thanks for coming.
Yep.
Nice talking to you too, Sam.
We'll see you next week.
Everyone have fun with the Super Bowl.
Yep.
We're going to talk about it next week. Should be a huge game.
Peace out.